The big black ship floated above Earth, damaged and smoking. Inside, Princess Zaravex tried to keep her face calm as warning lights flashed all around her. She was not supposed to feel scared. She was a royal from the most powerful alien group in space, the Celestial Empire. But right now her ship was broken and enemies were coming. "Status report," she said in a cool voice to her crew. The 6 aliens who served her looked worried. Their blue skin glowed a little brighter than usual, showing their stress. "The power core is damaged, Your Highness," one of them said. "We cannot jump to lightspeed, we are stuck here." Zara closed her eyes for a moment. This was bad. The Draconid forces, the enemies of her people, had set a trap for her. They had damaged her ship, the Midnight Spear, and now she was stuck in orbit around this blue planet called Earth, a planet full of humans who were not as advanced as her people. "We need help," another crew member said quietly, as if afraid to suggest it. "From humans." Zara's voice was sharp. They barely understand space travel, but she knew they had no choice. Their emergency signal had already been sent, and she had been told that humans were coming up to their ship to offer aid. The door to the bridge slid open with a hiss. Zara turned, her long silver hair floating slightly in the ship's weakened gravity. 5 humans entered, wearing simple spacesuits, with a blue and white flag on their shoulders. 4 of them looked nervous, but the one in front did not. "Hi, Commander Zaravex," the human woman said, taking off her helmet. She had short brown hair and dark, intelligent eyes. "I'm Lieutenant Olivia Reeves, Earth Space Defense Force. We picked up your distress signal." Zara looked down at the human. Olivia was almost a foot shorter than her, but something about the way she stood made her seem bigger. There was no fear in her eyes as she looked around at the advanced alien technology. "We don't need primitive help," Zara said. Her skin markings glowed blue along her cheekbones. This was a sign of irritation, but the humans wouldn't know that. Olivia raised an eyebrow. "Your ship is venting plasma, your orbit is decaying, and according to our scans, you've got hostiles on the way. I'd say you need whatever help you can get, primitive or not." Before Zara could respond, the ship shuddered violently. The gravity system failed completely. Everyone began to float off the floor. The aliens gasped, not prepared for the sudden change, but Olivia moved like she had trained for this. She pushed off a wall, glided through the air, and grabbed onto a handrail near a control panel. "Your gravity generator just failed," Olivia said calmly. "I can fix that, if you'll let me look at your systems." Zara tried to maintain her dignity while floating upside down. Her royal robes, designed to flow elegantly around her in normal gravity, now floated around her like a cloud. She tried to push herself toward a control seat but moved too fast and started spinning. A strong hand caught her arm, stopping her spin. It was Olivia. "Easy there, Your Highness," the human said with a small smile. "0G takes some getting used to." The touch sent a strange feeling through Zara's skin. Celestials had sensitive skin that could read the bioelectric fields of others. Olivia's touch felt different from any other species Zara had encountered. It tingled. It was not unpleasant. "Release me," Zara said. But her voice sounded less commanding than she wanted. Olivia helped her to a seat and showed her how to strap. "Ain. Look, I understand your pride, but my team can help. We may not have ships as fancy as yours, but we're good at fixing things." Zara looked at the human woman more carefully. Olivia's eyes were steady. There was something in them that Zara rarely saw in her own people, a kind of creative spark. Her own civilization was old and advanced, but sometimes set in their ways. "Very well," Zara finally said. "You may examine our systems, but under supervision." Olivia nodded and turned to her team. She gave them orders, sending them to different parts of the ship with alien guides. Then she turned back to Zara. "Your ship design is amazing," Olivia said, looking at the crystal control panels. "Our scientists have been working on similar concepts, but nothing this advanced." She reached out and touched one of the crystal surfaces. Zara was about to warn her that non-celestial beings usually got shocked by these controls, but to her surprise, the crystal glowed green under Olivia's fingers. "How did you do that?" Zara asked, unable to hide her surprise. Those controls are coded to celestial biology. Olivia looked just as surprised. I don't know. It just felt right, somehow. She moved her fingers across the surface and system. Diagrams appeared in the air above them. Is this your power grid? Zara floated closer, curious despite herself. Yes. The red areas show the damage. Together they examined the ship's systems. Zara was surprised at how quickly Olivia seemed to understand their technology. The human asked intelligent questions and made suggestions that showed she grasped concepts that took most species years to understand. Your hyperdrive is similar to our experimental models, Olivia said. We've been working on something like this, but we call it a fold drive. You're lying, Zara said. Humans don't have this technology. Not yet for ships this big, Olivia admitted. But the theory is, there. We're catching up faster than you think. A loud alarm suddenly blared through the ship. One of Zara's crew rushed in, his face glow pattern showing fear. Your Highness, Draconid scout ships have been detected. They will reach us in 30 Earth hours. Zara felt cold fear inside. The Draconids wanted her alive. Her royal genetic code held secrets they would torture her to get. If they captured her, both she and Earth would be in terrible danger. We need to leave orbit, she said. Now. We can't, Olivia said, pointing to the damage display. Your main engines are too damaged. But she studied the diagrams again, her eyes narrowed in thought. I think I might have an idea. What possible idea could a human have that my royal engineers haven't thought of? Zara said, but there was less bite in her words than before. Olivia looked up at her with that same fearless gaze. Sometimes you need to think outside the box, and humans, we're really good at that. Zara felt something shift inside her. For the first time in her royal life, she was actually considering listening to a being she had been taught was inferior. But right now, Lieutenant Olivia Reeves didn't look inferior at all. Zara watched as Olivia worked on the ship's damaged systems. The human moved with surprising skill, connecting wires and adjusting crystal components that most non-celestials couldn't even touch. The other human engineers worked in different parts of the ship, but Zara stayed close to Olivia. There was something about this human that fascinated her. Your approach to fixing things is unusual, Zara said, floating nearby in the still gravity-less engine room. Olivia wiped sweat from her forehead with the back of her hand. How so? You ignore the proper sequence. You connect things that should not be connected. Yet somehow it works. Olivia smiled. That's how humans solve problems. We try things. We break rules. Sometimes we fail, but sometimes we find better ways. This concept was strange to Zara. Her people followed strict rules for everything. They believed perfect order led to perfect results. They had been doing things the same way for thousands of years. It worked well for them. But watching Olivia's creative approach made her wonder if there were other ways. The Draconid ships will be here soon, Zara said, checking her wrist device that showed their enemy's approach. We have 26 hours left. I'm working as fast as I can, Olivia said. But I need to know more about how your systems work together. In our ships, we have redundancies, backup systems. Celestial technology does not fail, Zara said automatically, then looked around at the damaged ship with a small frown. Usually, Olivia laughed. It was a nice sound, open and real. Zara couldn't remember the last time someone had laughed freely in her presence. As royal heir, people were always formal and serious around her. Everything fails sometimes, Olivia said. That's why you need backups and creative solutions. She connected two crystal nodes that made Zara gasp. That's not correct. Those systems cannot. But instead of exploding as Zara expected, the crystals glowed bright blue and power flowed through a section that had been dead before. How did you know that would work? Zara asked, truly puzzled. I didn't, exactly, Olivia admitted. But the energy patterns looked compatible and I had a good feeling about it. A feeling? You risked blowing up the engine based on a feeling? Olivia shrugged. Sometimes instinct is as important as knowledge. This was completely opposite to everything Zara had been taught. Celestials relied on precise calculations and proven methods. They never took chances based on feelings. A small alarm beeped on Olivia's wrist device. She tapped it and a voice came through. Lieutenant Reeves, Commander Vasquez wants an update. Are we helping these aliens or not? Tell her we're making progress, Olivia replied. The ship is severely damaged, but we're finding solutions. The aliens aren't hostile to us, but they're being hunted by something called draconids. Draconids? Sounds like dragons, the voice said. They're not dragons, Zara interrupted. They're a warrior race that wants to take over our territory. They hunt my people, especially royals like me. If they capture me, they will extract information that could harm many worlds, including yours. There was a pause on the line. Understood. Commander Vasquez says we're sending up a defense vessel to assist. It's not big, but it's armed. One small human ship won't help against a Draconid attack fleet, Zara said after the communication ended. It's better than nothing, Olivia replied. And we humans might surprise you. They worked for several more hours. Slowly, some ship systems came back online. The lights stopped flickering, and air quality improved. But the main weapons and engines were still badly damaged. We need to try something different, Olivia said, looking at the ship's status display. We can't fix everything in time. Without weapons and engines, we cannot fight or flee, Zara said. What other options are there? Olivia's eyes lit up in a way that made Zara both worried and curious. We trick them. Trick them? The Draconids are not fools. Everyone can be fooled with the right setup, Olivia said. She began drawing a diagram on her tablet. Look, your ship has a cloaking system, right? Yes, but it's damaged. Not completely. I think we can modify it. Instead of hiding the ship, we can make it look like there are multiple ships. Zara frowned. Creating false images would require complex calculations, and I already did the math, Olivia said, showing Zara her tablet. It was filled with equations that looked surprisingly advanced for a human. You calculated this in your head? Zara was truly surprised now. I'm good with numbers, Olivia said simply. Always have been, that's why they sent me up here. I'm not just a soldier, I'm also an engineer. Zara studied the equations. They were unorthodox, but brilliant. If they worked, the ship could project multiple ghost images of itself, confusing the Draconid targeting systems. This might work, Zara admitted, but we would still need some weapon capability. I think we can reroute power from life support to the weapons, Olivia suggested. That would leave us with only 4 hours of air, one of Zara's crew pointed out. 4 hours should be enough time to either win or lose, Olivia said grimly. Zara looked at the human woman with new respect. She was willing to risk her life on a dangerous plan that might not work. That took courage. We'll do it your way, Zara decided. The next hours were a blur of activity. Olivia and Zara worked closely together, their initial mistrust fading as they focused on their shared goal. The human defense vessel arrived, a small ship called the Eagle. It wasn't much compared to the Midnight Spear, but its captain, Commander Lydia Vasquez, seemed confident. We've upgraded our shield since our last encounter with non-Earth hostiles, Lydia told them during a communication. And our weapons pack more punch than they look like. Your species is surprisingly confident given your limited technology, Zara remarked after the call. It's kept us alive so far, Olivia said. We've had to fight for everything we've achieved. My people haven't had a real war in 500 years, Zara said quietly. We've grown comfortable with our power. Olivia gave her a curious look. Is that a bad thing? I'm beginning to think it might be, Zara replied. As they worked, Zara found herself watching Olivia more and more. The human moved with purpose and determination. She never gave up when faced with a problem. When one approach failed, she simply tried another. There was something admirable about it. Why are you helping us? Zara asked suddenly. Your people don't know mine. We've never had contact before. Olivia paused in her work. It's what humans Do, or what we try to do anyway, help others in trouble. Even alien others who might be a threat? Are you a threat to Earth? Olivia asked directly. Zara thought about it. Her people had observed Earth from afar but had no real interest in the planet. Humans were considered too primitive to be either useful allies or dangerous enemies. No, she said finally. We are not a threat to your world. Then there's no problem, Olivia said with a smile. Besides, I'm learning a lot about your technology. That alone is worth the risk. The ship's warning system suddenly activated. A Draconid scout ship had appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system, moving fast toward them. They're early, Zara said, feeling her heart beat faster. Olivia looked at the display showing the enemy ship's approach. It's just one ship, probably checking if you're still here before the main fleet arrives. Even one Draconid ship is dangerous, Zara warned. Their weapons can cut through our damaged shields easily. Then we need to finish these modifications now, Olivia said, moving faster. Let's get your ghost ships ready to confuse them. Together, they made the final adjustments to the cloaking system. Zara was impressed by how quickly Olivia had understood their technology. The human had an intuitive grasp that went beyond her technical knowledge. It's ready, Olivia finally said, wiping sweat from her face. When they get close enough, activate this control. It should project 3 ghost images of the Midnight Spear. And if it doesn't work? Zara asked. Olivia gave her a determined look. Then we fight with what we've got. The Draconid scout ship was now visible through the bridge viewport, a dark shape against the stars moving closer with clear purpose. They've seen us, one of Zara's crew reported. Hold position, Zara ordered. She looked at Olivia, who nodded encouragingly. Zara placed her hand on the modified control panel. This was either going to work brilliantly or fail spectacularly. Either way, she was putting her trust in a human's plan, something no celestial royal had ever done before. Zara activated the modified cloaking system. The bridge filled with a soft humming sound as the technology engaged. Through the viewport, they watched as 3 ghost images of the Midnight Spear appeared around the real ship. They looked solid and real, each one an exact copy. It worked, Zara whispered, trying to hide her amazement. Olivia grinned. Told you it would. The Draconid scout ship slowed its approach, clearly confused by the sudden appearance of multiple targets. Its weapon systems powered up but didn't fire immediately. They're scanning all 4 ships, one of Zara's crew reported. They can't tell which is real. Now what? Zara asked Olivia. Now we see if Commander Vasquez is ready with the second part of our plan. The small Earth ship, the Eagle, had positioned itself behind Earth's moon, hidden from the Draconid's sensors. According to their plan, it would wait until the scout was distracted, then launch a surprise attack. The Draconid is targeting one of the ghost ships, a crew member announced. They're firing. A bright beam of energy shot from the scout ship toward one of the phantom Midnight Spears. It passed through the illusion harmlessly. They'll figure it out soon, Olivia warned. They'll try each one until they hit the real ship. Just as she predicted, the Draconid ship turned and aimed at another ghost image. Before it could fire again, the Eagle burst from behind the moon, engines at full power. It fired several missiles at the Draconid scout. Their shields are down by 30%, Zara's tactical officer reported with surprise. The human weapons are more effective than expected. The Draconid ship turned to face this new threat, seeming to decide the small Earth vessel was the more immediate danger. It fired a retaliatory shot that the Eagle barely dodged. Commander Vasquez can't hold them off alone for long, Olivia said. We need to use this distraction to our advantage. Zara nodded. Power up our remaining weapons. With life support systems running at minimum power, they had managed to restore partial function to the ship's main particle beam. It wasn't at full strength, but it might be enough to damage the scout ship if they got a clean shot. The Eagle continued its attack run, weaving around the Draconid's energy beams with impressive skill. Commander Vasquez was proving to be an excellent pilot. She's drawing them away from us, Olivia observed. giving us a shot at their rear shields, which are always weaker. How do you know that about Draconid ships? Zara asked, surprised. Olivia shrugged. Just a guess. Most ships have stronger shields in front. As the Draconid turned to pursue the Eagle, its rear section came into the Midnight Spear's firing line. Zara gave the order, and their particle beam lashed out, striking the enemy ship's engines. "Direct hit!" the tactical officer shouted. "Their engine power is dropping." The Draconid scout veered off course, trailing smoke and debris. But it wasn't destroyed yet. It turned back toward the Midnight Spear, clearly having identified the real ship now. "They're preparing to fire their main weapon," the tactical officer warned. "Our shields won't hold against it," Zara said grimly. Olivia studied the tactical display, her eyes narrowed in concentration. "The Eagle is coming around for another attack run." Sure enough, the Earth ship was circling back, firing more missiles at the damaged Draconid vessel. One missile struck a critical area, and a large explosion bloomed on the scout ship's side. "They're losing power fast," the tactical officer reported. "Their weapon charge is dissipating." For a tense moment, the three ships hung in space, the damaged Draconid scout still a threat despite its injuries. Then suddenly the scout ship's lights went dark. It began to drift. "Their core is shutting down," the tactical officer said. "They're activating emergency systems." "Are they surrendering?" Olivia asked. Zara shook her head. "Draconids don't surrender. They're going into survival mode to wait for rescue." The comm system beeped. Commander Vasquez's face appeared on the screen, looking satisfied but cautious. "Looks like we won this round, but if that was just a scout, we need to prepare for the main fleet." "Agreed," Zara said. "Your assistance was valuable, Commander." Vasquez nodded. "The Eagle took some damage, but we're still operational." "What's your status?" "We managed to restore some systems," Zara replied. "But we're far from battle ready. We need to get the Midnight Spear to a safer position," Olivia added. "The scout will have sent a message to the main fleet. They know exactly where we are." Zara considered their options. With only partial engine power, they couldn't leave Earth's orbit, but staying here put not only her ship but the entire planet at risk. "Commander Vasquez, can your people provide us with a secure dock for repairs?" she asked. Vasquez looked surprised at the request. "We have a space station, but it's not designed for a ship your size." "What about the dark side of your moon?" Olivia suggested. "We could hide there while completing repairs." Vasquez nodded slowly. "That could work. I'll need to get approval from Earth Command, but given the circumstances, I think they'll agree." After the communication ended, Zara turned to Olivia. "Your commander seems competent." "Vasquez is one of our best," Olivia said proudly. "She was the first to make contact with the Arcturians last year." "You've met other alien species?" This was news to Zara. "A few," Olivia admitted. "We keep it quiet. Most people on Earth still don't know about alien contact." This changed Zara's understanding of humans. She had thought Earth was completely isolated, but it seemed they had more experience with other species than the celestial records indicated. "Your people are full of surprises," she said. Olivia smiled. "You have no idea." With careful maneuvering and help from the Eagle, they managed to move the damaged Midnight Spear to the far side of Earth's moon. There, hidden from direct observation, they could continue repairs without being immediately visible to the approaching Draconid fleet. Zara stood on the bridge, looking out at the gray lunar landscape. Earth was not visible from this position, but she could see stars, billions of them spread across the black sky. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Olivia said, coming to stand beside her. "I never get tired of this view." "Yes," Zara agreed. "Though I've seen many worlds, there is always something special about looking at the stars from a new place." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment. Zara was aware of how strange this was. A celestial royal and a human soldier, standing side by side as almost equals. It went against everything she had been taught about the proper order of species in the galaxy. "Tell me about your world," Olivia said suddenly. "What's it like to be a princess of the Celestial Empire?" Zara considered the question. No one ever asked her personal questions. It's structured. Every moment of my life has been planned since birth. I was created to rule, to continue the royal lineage. Created, not born. Celestial royals are genetically designed, Zara explained. My DNA was carefully selected from the best elements of my parents and ancestors. I was grown in a special chamber, not a womb. Olivia looked surprised. That sounds clinical. It is efficient, Zara said. It prevents weakness in the ruling line. But does it make you happy? Olivia asked. The question caught Zara off guard. Happiness was not a concept that figured into royal training. Duty, honor, responsibility. These were the values she had been taught to prioritize. Happiness is not relevant to my position, she said finally. Olivia frowned. That sounds like a lonely way to live. Before Zara could respond, the ship's alarm sounded again. The tactical officer's voice came over the comm system. Your Highness, we're detecting multiple hyperspace ruptures. The Draconid main fleet has arrived. Zara and Olivia rushed back to the main tactical display. It showed 9 Draconid warships, emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 9 ships, Zara said, her voice tight. A full attack squadron. How much time do we have before they find us? Olivia asked. They'll start scanning the system immediately. Even behind the moon, our power signature will be detected within hours. Commander Vasquez's face appeared on the communication screen. Again. We're tracking multiple alien vessels entering the system. Earth Command has been notified. We're mobilizing our defense forces, but, frankly, we don't have much that can stand against that fleet. Zara appreciated the human's honesty. The Draconids want me, not Earth. If I surrender myself, they might leave your planet alone. Not an option, Olivia said firmly, surprising Zara with her quick rejection of the idea. If they get whatever genetic information they want from you, what's to stop them from attacking Earth anyway? She had a point. The Draconids were not known for keeping their word, especially to species they considered inferior. We need a new plan, Zara said. Our ship is still too damaged to fight effectively, and your world's defenses are not advanced enough to repel a Draconid fleet. Olivia stared at the tactical display, her mind clearly racing. What if we don't fight them directly? What if we set a trap? What kind of trap could catch 9 Draconid warships? Zara asked skeptically. Earth's moon has unusual gravitational properties, Olivia explained. We've studied them for years. There are places where the gravity fluctuates in ways that can disrupt certain types of propulsion systems. The Draconid ships use quantum fold drives, Zara said, beginning to understand. Those are sensitive to gravitational distortions. Olivia nodded excitedly. If we can lure them to the right location, and then trigger a disturbance pattern. The plan was risky. Zara knew this as she watched Olivia explain it to Commander Vasquez and her crew. They would use the Midnight Spear's leaking power core to create a controlled gravitational disruption. By positioning the ship in a specific spot near the moon and then releasing a burst of energy, they might be able to create a trap for the approaching Draconid fleet. If it works, Olivia explained, their ships will lose propulsion control for several minutes. That's our window to strike. And if it doesn't work? Vasquez asked. Then we've revealed our position and wasted our best shot, Olivia admitted. But I don't see many other options. Zara found herself nodding in agreement. The humans' plan was unconventional, but it might be their only chance. What surprised her most was how readily she was accepting Olivia's ideas. A week ago, she would never have considered a plan created by a being from such a young civilization. Earth Command has authorized full cooperation, Vasquez announced after consulting with her superiors. They're sending 3 more defense vessels to support us. 3 more small ships won't make much difference against 9 Draconid warships, one of Zara's crew pointed out. It's not the size of the ship that matters, Olivia replied. It's how you use it. The next few hours were spent preparing for the trap. Olivia and Zara worked together to modify the Midnight Spear's power core. It was delicate work, requiring both Olivia's creative problem-solving and Zara's knowledge of celestial technology. Your hands are very steady, Zara observed as Olivia adjusted a crystal alignment. Bomb disposal training, Olivia explained casually. When you're disarming explosives, you learn to control your nerves. Your military trains you for many situations, Zara said. It wasn't quite a question, but Olivia answered anyway. Humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We're good at it, even though we wish we weren't. Zara considered this. My people haven't fought a major war in centuries. We've forgotten what real conflict feels like. Is that why the Draconids are hunting you? Olivia asked. Because they think you're weak? Partially, Zara admitted. They see our peaceful existence as a sign of vulnerability, but they also want our technology and certain genetic information. What kind of genetic information? Zara hesitated. This was not something she usually shared with outsiders, but Olivia had earned some trust. Celestial royals carry genetic codes that can unlock our most advanced technologies, she explained. It's a security measure. Certain systems will only activate for those with royal DNA. Like a biological key, Olivia said, understanding immediately. Yes. If the Draconids captured me, they could extract this information and gain access to weapons that could destroy worlds. Olivia's face became more serious. Then we definitely can't let them catch you. The simple way she said it, as if protecting an alien princess was now her personal mission, touched something inside Zara. Most beings in the galaxy would have seen her capture as a political problem, not a personal one. You're strange for a human, Zara said without thinking. Olivia looked up with a half smile. Is that a compliment or an insult? An observation, Zara replied. You care about things that don't directly affect you or your world. That's unusual. Maybe for Celestials, Olivia said, returning to her work on the crystal array. For humans, it's pretty normal. We can be selfish sometimes, sure. But most of us care about others, even strangers. Even alien strangers? Especially the pretty ones, Olivia said with a quick grin. Zara felt her face markings glow brighter at the casual compliment. She wasn't used to such informal conversation, especially not with someone who knew her royal status. It was refreshing. The tactical display beeped with a warning. The Draconid fleet had changed course. They were heading directly toward the moon. They've detected us, Zara's tactical officer announced. Estimated time to contact. 45 minutes. Sooner than we expected, Olivia muttered. Are the modifications ready? Zara checked the system displays. Almost. We need more time. Time is something we don't have, Commander Vasquez said over the comm. The Earth defense vessels are still 20 minutes out. We'll finish in time, Olivia said confidently. Keep working on the power core adjustments. I'll set up the trigger mechanism. They worked faster now with greater urgency. Zara found herself watching Olivia's face as she concentrated. The human had a way of biting her lower lip when focusing intensely. It was an endearing habit. There, Olivia finally said, connecting the last crystal node. The power core is ready to release a controlled energy burst. Now we just need to position the ship correctly. With minimal engine power, they carefully moved the Midnight Spear to the exact location Olivia had calculated. It was a spot where the moon's natural gravitational anomalies were strongest. The Draconid fleet has entered lunar orbit, the tactical officer reported. They're scanning the surface. They'll find us soon, Zara said. We should power down all non-essential systems to minimize our signature. The lights dimmed as systems shut down around them. In the semi-darkness of the bridge, Zara could see the concern on everyone's faces, her crew and the humans alike. They were about to face a superior force with a plan that had never been tested before. The Earth vessels have arrived, Vasquez announced. They're taking position on the far side of the lunar orbit, out of the Draconids' scanner range. Good, Olivia said. Tell them to be ready. When the trap is sprung, they'll only have a short window to attack. The minutes passed with excruciating slowness. Zara found herself standing close to Olivia, drawing comfort from the human's steady presence. It was strange how quickly she had come to trust this woman from a species she had previously considered primitive. 2 Draconid ships are changing course, the tactical officer suddenly reported. They're heading straight for us. They've found our position Earlier than expected, Olivia muttered. We need to trigger the trap now. But the other 7 ships are still too far away, Zara objected. They won't be caught in the disruption field. 2 is better than none, Olivia said grimly. We have to act now. Zara hesitated only briefly before nodding. Do it. Olivia activated the trigger mechanism. The Midnight Spear's damaged power core began to hum loudly, the pitch rising as energy built up within it. Energy levels rising, one of Zara's engineers reported. Approaching critical threshold. Hold steady, Olivia said, eyes fixed on the display. We need maximum release at exactly the right moment. The 2 Draconid warships appeared on their visual scanners, moving toward them with clear hostile intent. They were massive compared to the Midnight Spear, their hulls covered in weapons arrays that were powering up. They're charging weapons, the tactical officer said unnecessarily. Wait for it, Olivia murmured, her hand hovering over the release control. Wait. The Draconid ships entered the target zone, their engines glowing as they prepared to attack. Now! Olivia slammed her hand down on the control. The Midnight Spear shuddered violently as the power core released its built-up energy in one massive burst. The energy wave spread outward, invisible but powerful, interacting with the moon's natural gravitational field to create a massive disruption. The effect on the Draconid ships was immediate and dramatic. Their engines flared erratically, and they began to spin out of control, caught in the artificial gravitational vortex. It worked, Zara exclaimed, unable to keep the surprise from her voice. Don't celebrate yet, Olivia cautioned. Signal the Earth vessels to attack now. Commander Vasquez's ships emerged from hiding, weapons blazing as they targeted the disoriented Draconid warships. Without stable engines, the enemy ships couldn't maintain their shields properly, making them vulnerable. The other 7 Draconid ships are changing course, the tactical officer reported. They're coming to assist their companions. How long? Until the disruption field affects them too? Zara asked. They'll need to enter the same zone, Olivia explained. And they might be more cautious now that they've seen what happened to the first 2. Indeed, the remaining Draconid ships were approaching more slowly, scanning the area carefully. They began firing long-range weapons at the Earth vessels, forcing them to break off their attack on the disabled ships. The trap won't work twice, Zara realized. They'll stay out of range. Olivia frowned in concentration. Then we need to bring the trap to them. She turned to Zara with an intense expression. Can your ship still move under minimal power? Yes, but not quickly or far. We don't need quick or far, Olivia said. We just need to get closer to those other ships while maintaining the disruption field. It was a bold plan, perhaps too bold. The Midnight Spear was already damaged, and maintaining the disruption field was putting enormous strain on its systems. Moving while doing so might cause a catastrophic failure. It's too dangerous, one of Zara's crew protested. The power core could collapse. Zara looked at Olivia, seeing the determination in the human's eyes. What do you think our chances are? Honestly, not great, Olivia admitted. But better than letting those ships recover and attack Earth. The simple truth of that statement decided it for Zara. Engage minimal propulsion. Move us toward the Draconid fleet. The Midnight Spear began to move slowly, straining against its own failing systems. The disruption field wavered but held, creating a gravitational distortion that moved with the ship. Olivia looked surprised at the invitation, but she nodded quickly. Yes, I'll come with you. The escape pod was designed for celestial royalty, more comfortable than most Earth spaceships, despite its small size. It had enough supplies for a month and advanced stealth technology to avoid detection. My crew will continue fighting, Zara told Olivia as they entered the pod. They'll keep the Draconids occupied while we escape. Olivia looked troubled by this. They might die. They are loyal to the celestial throne, Zara said. They understand their duty. But even as she said it, she felt uncomfortable. Spending time with Olivia had made her question many things she had always taken for granted. The escape pod detached from the Midnight Spear with a soft hiss. Its engines were quiet, barely detectable even to advanced scanners. They watched through the viewport as the battle continued behind them, the damaged celestial ship still maintaining its disruption field, the Earth vessels fighting bravely against much larger Draconid warships. "Your people fight well," Zara observed, watching an Earth ship execute a complex maneuver to avoid enemy fire. "We've had a lot of practice," Olivia said grimly. "Too much, probably." The pod's computer suggested a course away from the battle, heading toward the far side of Earth. "The Draconid sensors will have difficulty finding us there," Zara explained. "Too much electronic noise from your planet's communication systems." Olivia nodded, but she kept looking back at the battle. "I feel wrong about leaving them." "Your commander understands the situation," Zara said. "She knows that keeping me out of Draconid hands is the priority." "It's not just about strategy," Olivia replied. "Those are my friends fighting back there." Zara didn't know how to respond to this. Celestial royals were taught to think about the bigger picture, not personal attachments. But she was beginning to understand that humans operated differently. "Where are we going exactly?" Olivia asked after a while. "The pod is programmed to find a remote location where we can hide until my people send help," Zara explained. "Your planet has many uninhabited areas. The pod's computer had selected a landing zone in a place called Montana, a region with mountains and forests where they could remain undetected." As they approached Earth's atmosphere, Zara observed the blue planet with new interest. She had seen many worlds, but few had the vibrant colors and diverse landscapes of this one. Their landing was smooth. The pod's advanced systems found a clearing among tall pine trees far from human settlements. When the door opened, Zara inhaled her first breath of Earth air. It was cooler than she was used to, rich with unfamiliar organic scents. "Welcome to Earth," Olivia said with a small smile. "Not exactly the formal reception you probably deserve." Zara stepped out of the pod, looking around at the trees swaying in the gentle wind, the mountains rising in the distance, and the clear blue sky above. "It's beautiful," she said simply. "Yeah, it is," Olivia agreed, following her out. She tapped her communication device. "I should try to contact Commander Vasquez, see what's happening with the battle." While Olivia attempted to establish communication, Zara explored their immediate surroundings. The gravity was slightly stronger than she was used to, making her movements a bit slower. The air contained less oxygen than her homeworld, but her enhanced celestial biology could adapt. "Any contact?" she asked when she returned to Olivia's side. The human shook her head. "No. Either the mountains are blocking the signal or—" She didn't finish the sentence, but her worry was clear. "The pod has a long-range communicator," Zara offered. "We can try that." They returned to the pod and activated its communication system. After several attempts, they managed to establish a weak connection with Earth's orbital defense network. "This is Lieutenant Reeves," Olivia identified herself, "requesting status update on the lunar engagement." There was static, then a fragmented response. "Lieutenant, Draconid fleet, retreating, heavy casualties, Midnight Spear, critical damage." "The Midnight Spear is still operational?" Olivia asked urgently. More static then. "Negative. Crew evacuated. Commander Vasquez, leading. Counterattack." The connection failed. After that, Olivia looked at Zara with mixed emotions, relief that her commander was still fighting, sadness about the Midnight Spear. "I'm sorry about your ship," she said. Zara nodded, feeling the loss. The Midnight Spear had been her home for years as she traveled the galaxy on diplomatic missions, but she was a practical being. "Ships can be replaced," she said. "Lives cannot." "What do we do now?" Olivia asked. "We wait," Zara replied. "The pod has sent an encrypted signal to the Celestial Empire. My people will send help once they receive it, but it might take days, even weeks." Olivia looked around at the forest. "Well, at least we picked a nice spot to wait." The pod contained supplies and equipment for survival on unknown worlds. They set up a small camp near the pod, but under the cover of trees to avoid detection from above. Olivia proved skilled at adapting the alien equipment for use on Earth, creating a comfortable shelter that blended into the natural surroundings. As night fell, they sat together by a small heat generator that served as a campfire without producing smoke. The stars appeared above them, familiar to Zara but seen from a new angle. "It's strange," Zara said, looking up at the night sky. "I can see my home star from here, but it looks so small and distant." "Which one is it?" Olivia asked. Zara pointed to a bright star near a constellation humans called Andromeda. "That one. It's called Viridian in your language. My homeworld is the third planet in that system." "What's it like? Your homeworld?" Zara considered the question. "It's perfect, perhaps too perfect. The Celestial Empire has shaped every aspect of the planet to suit our needs. The weather is controlled, the landscapes designed for maximum efficiency and beauty. There are no wild places left, not like this." She gestured to the forest around them. "Sounds like you've eliminated all the chaos," Olivia observed. "Yes. That was the goal for thousands of years. To create perfect order." Zara looked around, at the wild earth forest, with its random patterns of growth and natural disorder. "But I'm beginning to think we lost something important in the process." "Chaos isn't always bad," Olivia said softly. "Sometimes the most beautiful things come from randomness." They talked for hours under the stars. Zara told Olivia about life in the Celestial Empire, about the rigid structure of royal existence, and the expectations placed on her since birth. Olivia shared stories of her life on Earth, growing up in a place called Colorado, joining the Space Defense Force after college, her dreams of exploring beyond their solar system someday. "And now you're sitting with an alien princess in the woods," Zara said with amusement. "Is this what you imagined?" Olivia laughed. "Not exactly, but I'm not complaining." As they talked, Zara found herself relaxing more than she had in years. Away from her royal duties and the constant formal atmosphere of her court, she felt almost like a normal person. Olivia treated her with respect, but not the stiff deference she was accustomed to. It was refreshing. 3 days passed in relative peace. Each morning they checked the pod's communication system for updates. The battle near the moon had ended with the Draconid fleet retreating, though they remained at the edge of the solar system. Earth's forces had suffered damage but had acquitted themselves well. Commander Vasquez had survived and was coordinating with Earth's governments to prepare for possible further attacks. On the 4th day, as they were foraging for fresh water from a nearby stream, Olivia suddenly stopped moving. "Listen," she whispered. Zara's enhanced hearing picked up what had alerted Olivia, the sound of engines not from the sky but moving through the forest. "Vehicles," she said, "coming this way." "Could be just hikers or park rangers," Olivia said, but her hand moved to the weapon at her hip. "We should return to the pod," Zara suggested. "Activate its cloaking system." They moved quickly through the forest, but the sounds of the vehicles grew louder. Whoever was coming was heading straight for their landing site. "They're tracking the pod's energy signature," Zara realized. "The cloaking system isn't designed to hide from ground-based searches." They reached the clearing just as several large black vehicles broke through the trees on the opposite side. Men in dark uniforms poured out, weapons raised. "Humans or Draconids?" Zara whispered. Olivia studied the newcomers. "Human, but not space. Defense Force, some other organization." One man stepped forward. "Lieutenant Olivia Reeves, Princess Zara Vex. We're with Earth Security Division. Please come with us." Olivia moved slightly in front of Zara, her posture protective. "Under whose authority?" "Global Council," the man replied. "The alien incursion has changed things, Lieutenant. All extraterrestrial. Contacts now fall under our jurisdiction." Zara could sense Olivia's tension. "Are they telling the truth?" she asked quietly. "Partly," Olivia murmured back. "The Earth Security Division exists, but they don't have the authority they're claiming." She raised her voice. "I need to speak with Commander Vasquez before we go anywhere." The man shook his head. That's not possible at this time. Please cooperate. We don't want any incidents. The way he said incidents made it clear that he was prepared for violence if necessary. There were at least 20 armed men surrounding them now.